Yes, hi everyone. Myself Shivani Sharma. Today we are going to discuss about the blood and what are the components that are present in the blood and what are the functions of these components. So if I talk about the blood, so blood, what is it? Is it a organ or is it a tissue? So blood is a fluid connective tissue. Our entire body is made up of four type of tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. So blood belongs to the category of connective tissue. In connective tissue we have three types: the loose connective tissue and the dense connective tissue and the specialized connective tissue. In specialized connective tissue, further we have two categories: the one which supports our skeletal system, that consists of bones and the cartilage, and the other one which have a consistency of fluid like, and in this our blood is come. Okay, so blood is what? So blood is a fluid connective tissue. So blood is what? Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Okay, if somebody asks you what is the origin of this connective tissue, so the connective tissue, they has been originated from the germ layer of mesoderm. Is it okay? And what are the functions of blood? What are the functions of blood in our body? So they help in transport of gases like oxygen and the CO2. RBC play a very important role because in RBC we have a molecule which is the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin, it is the carrier for oxygen and the CO2. So the first function of blood, it is responsible for the transportation of gases. Okay, the hormones which is in our body, which act as a intracellular messengers, they also transported through the help of blood. Okay, so after the digestions, whatever the nutrition makes in our body, they also transported with the help of blood. Okay, your excretory waste, they also transported to the kidney with the help of blood. Okay, so these are the major functions of your blood. Okay, so the first point is blood is what? Blood is a fluid connective tissue, and the connective tissue, their origin is mesoderm. Is it okay? The next point is, what is the pH of blood? What is the pH of blood? The pH of blood, the blood is slightly alkaline. Okay, so we have a particular scale in which we measure the pH. So 7 is neutral, and below the 7, if we have some reading, so they consider as a acidic, and above the 7 it is the alkaline. So the pH of blood is 7.4 plus minus 0.05. Okay, so the pH of blood is slightly alkaline, and it can be maintained in our body through the process of homeostasis. The pH of blood is maintained in our body. How it is maintained in our body? Through the process of homeostasis. Is it okay? And the next is the total amount of blood. What is the total amount of blood that we have in our body? It is 5 to 6 liter. Okay, amount of blood in our body. Amount of blood in our body is 5 to 6 liter. Okay, next, what are the things that is present in the blood? So blood have two main components. Bloods have two things. The blood have first cellular things. The blood have cellular things, and the blood also contains the non-cellular things. Okay, cellular means blood have some cells, and blood also have non-cellular component. Okay, the cellular component examples your RBC, WBC and platelets, and your platelets. Next, come to the non-cellular. In non-cellular we have plasma. What we have? We have plasma. Now come to the point, what is the compositions of the cellular elements, or what is the compositions of the non-cellular elements? So the compositions of the cellular elements is 45%. The cellular component is 45%, and the non-cellular component, which is plasma, it is your 55%. So the plasma is more in amount as comparison to the formed elements. They are also known as the formed elements. So these are the cellular items which is present in the blood, and these are the non-cellular item which is present in blood. That name is plasma, and the plasma is a straw colored element. Okay, so how we get to know like these are present in our blood? With the help of a test which is known as the centrifuge. So they also known as the PCV. PCV is what? The packed cell volume. The packed cell volume. Their compositions or their amount is very important, and how we get to know कि like these things are present in the bloods. So first of all, we have a test. Through the test we get to know these are the things which is present in the blood. We take the blood inside a test tube. Okay, we kept the blood in the test tube. After that, when we take this blood in a test tube, we kept it into the where we kept it into the centrifuge machine. Okay, centrifuge is an instrument जो बहुत तेज रोटेशन होता है, उसके अंदर हमने टेस्ट ट्यूब में ब्लड लिया. आफ्टर दैट वी टेक इट इनटू दी सेंट्रीफ्यूज. ओके, वी केप्ट इट इनटू दी सेंट्रीफ्यूज एंड वहाँ पर वो तेज रोटेट हुआ. बिकॉज एवरी सेल हैव देयर डिफरेंट स्पीड. यस और नो? अगर ये सब ब्लड में प्रेजेंट है तो इनकी स्पीड भी अलग होगी. सो व्हेन वी रोटेट दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स इन द सेंट्रीफ्यूज, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर कैपेसिटी की उनकी कितनी रोटेशंस है, कुछ चीज़ सेटल डाउन हो गई एंड कुछ सामान ऊपर आ गया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर ये आपकी टेस्ट ट्यूब है, suppose this is a test tube. Okay, so when we kept this test tube in the centrifuge, so some of the things they settle down here. Okay, and some जिनकी स्पीड कम थी they float over the surface here. So जो ऊपर float कर रहा था that is your plasma. जो आपका settle down हो गया था, this is what? This is your cellular components. And in this cellular components we have RBC and WBC. We have RBC and the platelets. Okay, so we have what? RBC and the platelets. So RBC, they are more in number. That's why the color of blood is red in color, because RBC contain a pigment which is hemoglobin. Okay, so WBC जो होते हैं, WBC की स्पीड और कम होती है एंड उनका वेट हल्का होता है, तो वो ऊपर की तरफ एक लेयर बना लेते हैं. WBC ऊपर की तरह एक लेयर बना लेते हैं एंड ऊपर यहाँ पर ऐसे फ्लोट करते हैं. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? व्हाट वी कॉल इट? इट कॉल दी बफी कोट. एंड बफी कोट ये व्हाइटिश कलर की लेयर होती है, व्हाइट कलर की लेयर होती है, एंड इट कंटेन्स योर WBC. इट कंटेन्स व्हाट? इट कंटेन्स योर WBC. ओके, plasma contains the organic items and the inorganic items. Plasma have organic components also and the inorganic components. In inorganic components they have ions like chlorine, sodium, potassium, etc. And organic component they have plasma protein and other substances. Okay, so if I talk about the RBC, what is the function of RBC? They play a very important role in the transportation of gases. WBC, they play a very important role during the time of infection. When we have any pathogen interaction in our body, they increase their number and act as a phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means they engulf the microbes. Okay, that's why they known as the soldiers of the body. Now, platelets, they play a very important role in the blood coagulation, and we have an entire mechanism of a blood coagulation that we will discuss in our next video. Okay, so their amount is very important. Okay, next, if we compare the blood with the water, so the blood have a higher specific gravity. Why so? Because this blood contains the cellular components too. Okay, but in water there is no cellular components. Okay, next this PCV means the packed cell volume. जब आपने इस ब्लड को सेंट्रीफ्यूज में रखा, तो ये तेज रोटेट हुए, जिसकी वजह से सेल्स क्या होते हैं? मैक्सिमम पैक हो जाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? PCV इज व्हाट? द पैक्ड सेल वॉल्यूम. ओके, सो व्हेन वी kept our test tube which is having blood in the centrifuge, so centrifuge में जब when they rotate very fast, so उसमें cells क्या हुए? ऐसे ये tightly packed हो गए. ये क्या हो गए? ऐसे tightly packed हो गए. सो जो ये टाइटली पैक्ड हुए इनकी वॉल्यूम को हम क्या बोलते हैं, पैक्ड सेल वॉल्यूम, क्योंकि आपका जो बॉडी में ब्लड है वो उसमें सेलुलर कंपोनेंट्स भी ऐसे घूम रहे होंगे. सो हाउ यू एग्जैक्टली मेजर देयर अमाउंट, विद द हेल्प ऑफ द पीसीवी ना, तभी तो हमने सेंट्रीफ्यूज करा. इसमें क्या होगा, सेल टाइटली पैक्ड हो जाएंगे एंड दिस टाइटली सेल्स हैव अ नंबर ऑफ योर आरबीसी एंड दी platelets. Is it okay? Next, this PCV can be affected by certain conditions. So this PCV also affect by the shape of RBC. This PCV volume is also affected by the shape of RBC. See, the shape of RBC is what? The RBC shape is biconcave. The shape of RBC is biconcave. Is it okay? Next, this shape of RBC, they are more spherical. Here is a condition which can affect the PCV, and this condition is known as the spherocytosis. This condition is known as the spherocytosis. In this conditions, the RBC become more spherical. In this condition, RBC become what? RBC becomes the more spherical. So when RBC become more spherical, so then the cell going to be more packed. Yes or no? जब वो और spherical हो जाएंगे तब वो और ज़्यादा packed होने लग जाएंगे, जिसकी वजह से PCV का amount increase हो जाएगा. So this PCV volume also affect by the some clinical condition. For example, we have one condition which is the spherocytosis. In spherocytosis, the cell becomes the more spherical, which increase the PCV volume. Which increase what? Which increase the PCV volume. So okay, so this PCV volume can also be affected by some clinical condition. It can be increased or it can be decreased. Is it okay? Next we have the first formed element, which is our RBC. RBC is also known as the erythrocyte. And what is the full form of RBC? The red blood cell. And also sometimes sometimes we also use the corpuscles for the cells. Okay, corpuscle. So RBC, their number is more. We have three formed elements, but if we compare which one is more in amount, that is your RBC. They are most abundant, and RBC contain a protein pigment which is hemoglobin, and the color of this hemoglobin is red. That's why the color of blood is red. Okay, so how many RBCs we have? 5 to 5.5 million per mm cube of blood. Okay, and what is the shape of RBC? It is biconcave in shape. Okay, the shape of RBC is like that. Okay, it is biconcave in shape. Next, RBC are devoid of nucleus. RBC, they don't have nucleus, and also RBC don't contain the mitochondria. So which type of respiration take place in RBC? So the respiration which take place in RBC, that is the anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, because aerobic respiration take place in the mitochondria. Since RBC do not have any mitochondria, so what they have rest? They have rest cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm an aerobic respiration take place. Okay, why they don't have nucleus and the mitochondria? Because they contain a pigment which is the hemoglobin, and during the time of maturation of RBC lost their nucleus as well as the mitochondria, that we will discuss. Okay, they have a red colored iron containing complex protein which is known as the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin, it is a carrier for gases of oxygen and the CO2. A healthy individual had 12 to 16 gram of Hb in how ml of blood? In every 100 ml of blood. Okay, RBC have a lifespan about 120 days. When they complete their lifespan, they destroyed where? They destroyed in the spleen. That's why spleen is also known as the graveyard of RBC. Graveyard means जहाँ पर किसी को दफनाया जाता है. Suppose this is your stomach. Behind the stomach, spleen is present. Behind the stomach, what is it present? The spleen is present. Okay. Next, we have the process of erythropoiesis. Next, we have one terminology, that is the erythropoiesis. What is erythropoiesis? The formation of red blood cells. The formation of red blood cells. Where this formation take place? So the process of erythropoiesis take place in the red bone marrow. But when we were in the embryonic development, then this process would take place in the yolk sac. I am telling you one mnemonic which is helpful to you to learn कि कहाँ formation होती थी RBC की when we were in the embryonic development. Okay, so the mnemonic is young liver synthesize blood. Okay, the young liver synthesize the blood. So Y stands for the yolk sac. Y stands for the yolk sac and L stands for the liver. Okay, S stands for the spleen and B stands for the bone marrow. B stands for what? B stands for the bone marrow. When we were in the embryonic development, so we were inside the amnion. Amniotic sac होता है ना, जिसके अंदर fetus होता है. Fetus किसके अंदर होता है? Amniotic sac के अंदर होता है. उस layer को बोलते हैं amnion, which is filled with the amniotic fluid. Okay, so there are also some extra embryonic membrane is also present during the time of embryonic development. For example, yolk sac, allantois. Okay, so when the fetus fully become developed, so they will shed off naturally. Okay, so when we were in the embryonic development, so on the initial stages, so erythropoiesis process take place in the yolk sac, after that liver, and after that in the spleen. See, when you were in the embryonic development inside your mother's womb, so that time the erythropoiesis take place in the spleen, but when you becomes the fully mature fetus, so this RBC destruction take place where? It take place in the spleen. Okay, so when you become fully fetus developed inside the mother's womb, after that it take place in the bone marrow. Which bone marrow? The red bone marrow. Suppose this is your bone. Okay, you know that this part of this spongy bone is known as the epiphysis. This long and shafted part is known as the diaphysis. Okay, so in the epiphysis we have red bone marrow, and this long elongated shaft contains the yellow bone marrow. Okay, so this particular red bone marrow, in this hemopoiesis process take place. Which process take place? Hemopoiesis process take place. That is the formation of blood. Hemopoiesis means formation of blood. Erythropoiesis means the formation of red blood cells. Okay, so this red bone marrow, they contains the hematopoietic stem cells. They have what? They have the hematopoietic stem cells. These are the cells which can be converted into the any type of blood cells. Okay, stem cells are what? Stem cells are those cells which can be converted into the any type of cells. But here, which cells are present? The hemopoietic stem cells, which can be converted into the blood cells only. So some of the hematopoietic stem cells, they got mature and they becomes the proerythroblast. They becomes what? They becomes the proerythroblast. Okay. Now these proerythroblast, they undergo maturation. They undergo what? They undergo maturation. And what are the things which is required for the maturation of proerythroblast? That is your vitamin B12 and the folic acid. Folic acid is what? Folic acid is the vitamin B9. Okay, if somebody have a deficiency of vitamin B12 and vitamin B9, they suffer from the anemia. Yes or no? That's why those patients who have anemia, doctor usually prescribes the folic acid tablets now, because they are very much responsible for the maturation of the RBC. Okay, so during the time of maturation, these two things are required for the maturation of proerythroblast, and also during that time they lost their mitochondria, they lost the mitochondria and they lost the nucleus because they contains the hemoglobin, so they require a place inside it, yes or no, and then they becomes the fully functional RBC, which have which protein pigment, which have the hemoglobin. Okay, that's how RBC mature. Is it okay? Next we have WBC. WBC, they are colorless due to the lack of hemoglobin. They don't have hemoglobin, that's why the color of WBC is white in color. They are nucleated, they contains the nucleus, okay, and the amount of the WBC 6000 to 8000 per mm³ of blood. Leukocytes, they are generally short-lived, and we have type of WBC, and every WBC have different lifespan. Okay, they are of two types of WBC we have. Basically, the first we have WBC are of your two type. First we have a granulocytes WBC, and the second we have granulocytes WBC. Okay, suppose this is your WBC. Okay, inside the WBC, when we see the WBC inside the microscope, I'm so sorry, when we see WBC inside the microscope, so there are protein granules are present. There are protein present which is known as the granules. Is it okay? So those WBC which contains the granules, they are known as the granulocytes WBC. Those WBC which do not have a granules, they are known as the agranulocyte. Okay, so the example of agranulocyte WBC is lymphocyte, and another is the monocyte. Okay, by the name you can understood. agranulocytes, A stand for the absence, ऐसे लगा लो, है ना, absence of granules. Okay, lymphocytes, we have another two type. Lymphocyte further differentiated into the two, the B cell, which is also known as the B lymphocytes, and the T cells, which is also known as the T lymphocytes. Okay, next we have granulocytes. Granulocyte examples is your eosinophil, basophil, and the neutrophil. Is okay. WBC can move in the blood. Yes, WBC have one interesting property. They can show the movement in the blood. Yes, they can move in your blood with the help of the amoeboid movement. Like amoeba do the movement with the help of making the false feet, and this movement is known as the pseudopodial movement. Now, just like WBC भी ऐसे false feet बनाता है and they move in the blood. Okay, so WBC show amoeboid movement. How they show the amoeboid movement? With the help of making false feet, pseudopodia. They make the pseudopodia. Pseudo word we are using for the false, and podia word we are using for what? The podia word we are using for the feet. Okay, so they also show the, you can say that the WBC show amoeboid movement, or you can also use the pseudopoidal movement. Okay, so suppose this is your WBC. Okay, so when WBC want to move in the blood, so they make some false feet like that. Okay, just like the amoeba do. Okay, so this movement is known as the amoeboid movement or the pseudopodial movement. Next, WBC, they can move from blood to the tissue. When we have any pathogen infection in our body, you know that WBC, they increase their number because they fight against the pathogen and protect our body. So how they are capable to do that? With the help of the amoeboidal movement. Okay, so suppose this is your blood vessels. Blood vessel, and in your blood vessels, WBC, they are moving. Okay, so in your body, suppose this is your tissue. Okay, in your tissue, the pathogen is enter. This is, suppose this is the pathogen. Okay, so when the pathogen is enter, so this WBC, they show the movement from blood to tissue. They show a movement from blood to the tissue with the help of the squeezing. जैसे squeeze out करके नहीं निकल जाते, ऐसे ही ये WBC ऐसे false feet बनाएंगे and squeeze out होके टिश्यू में आएंगे. ओके, एंड दिस मूवमेंट इज नोन एज द डायपिडेसिस मूवमेंट. दिस मूवमेंट इज नोन एज द डायपिडेसिस मूवमेंट. नॉट एवरी WBC आर केपेबल टू शो दिस मूवमेंट. वी हैव टू टाइप ऑफ WBC. द वन इज योर neutrophil, and another is your monocyte, which show this type of movement. They have a property of phagocytosis. What is phagocytosis? The engulfment of the foreign pathogen of the microbe. Okay, so they do what? Diapedesis movement. Diapedesis movement means the movement of WBC from blood to the tissue. So this type of movement is known as the diapedesis movement. The movement of WBC from blood to tissue. Okay, so these are the two properties of your white blood cells. The next we have the type of WBC. Just a second. Okay, the next we have the type of WBC. The first we have the two, which is agranulocyte, and the examples of your agranulocyte, your lymphocytes and the monocyte. That is your lymphocyte and your monocyte. These are the examples of your agranulocytes. I am writing here the features of WBC. I am writing here the features, and one by one we will discuss about their features. Okay. Next, here we are going to talk about the eosinophil, basophil and the neutrophil. Okay. Eosinophil, basophil and the neutrophil. So this eosinophil, basophil and neutrophils, these are the examples of your granulocytes. Granules are present. Granules are nothing. These are the proteinaceous structure. Okay. Next, here we comparing their what? Here we compare their features. Okay, the first feature we have the which one having a granules or which do not have granules. Okay, first we are talk about the granules. Okay, so lymphocyte and monocytes, granules are absent. Eosinophil, basophil and the neutrophils, granules are present. Whatever the fill you have, they all have granules. Okay, next we talk about the percentage. What are the percentage of these? Okay, next we going to talk about the percentage. What are the amounts of these WBCs in our bodies? So if I talk about the lymphocytes, they are total 20 to 25%. They are total 20 to 25%. Monocytes, they are 6 to 8%. Monocytes 6 to 8%. Eosinophils 2 to 3%. Basophils, they are less than 1%, but we considering them as a 1% only. And neutrophils, they are 60 to 65%. They are 60 to 65%. Okay. The RBC have one interesting property also. They all have a different type of nucleus. Yes, why you categorized this WBC into so many categories? The first category, you know that according to the presence of granules, which one having granules or which do not have granules. So on that particular category, we divided them into the two, agranulocytes or the granulocytes. Further, we divided into the 5 parts. On what basis? On the the basis of their nucleus, on the basis of the morphology of nucleus. What type of the morphology of nucleus are present in the WBC? So if I talk about the lymphocyte, lymphocyte have a spherical, lymphocyte have what? Lymphocyte have rounded nucleus. Okay, lymphocyte have round shaped nucleus, or you can say that they have a spherical nucleus. Round shaped nucleus is present in the lymphocyte. Okay, next gonna talk about the monocyte. Monocyte have a bean shaped type of nucleus like the kidney. Okay, monocyte have bean shaped nucleus. Next, eosinophil, they have bilobed nucleus. Okay, they have bilobed nucleus, two lobes are present, and their arrangement, it looks like a head phone. So the nucleus is bilobed. Okay, in the basophil, S-shaped type of nucleus present. You can see here the structure is, their structure is look like S and three lobes are present. So basophils have trilobed type of nucleus. Neutrophils have many nucleus. Neutrophils, so many nucleus are present here. Okay, and the morphology of the neutrophil nucleus is also known as the PMNL. What is the full form of PMNL? Polymorphonucleoside. Polymorphonucleoside. Okay, next talk about the functions of lymphocyte. Lymphocytes are of your two types, the B cell or the T cell. B cell makes the antibodies in your body which provides the humoral immunity. B cell, what is the function of B cell? B cell makes the antibodies in our body. Okay, B cell produce the antibodies. Basically, this lymphocyte, they are related to the immune response. Next, come to the T cell. T cell are responsible for any graft rejection, or they are responsible to kill the cancer cell. The function of T cell, they kill cancer cell. They kill cancer cell, and they are responsible for graft rejection. They are also responsible for the graft rejection. Next, talk about the monocyte. Monocyte, remember, they have a property of the phagocytosis. They can move from blood to the tissue and engulf the pathogen. Yes. Next, eosinophils. They are the anti-parasite. They are the anti-parasite. When we have any parasitic infection in our body, remember the infection like Ascariasis, with the Ascaris worm, it enters in the small intestine and block that area. Then person suffer from the anemia like condition. So when somebody have any worm or helminthic infection, then these times the eosinophil cell, they increase in number to kill the particular parasite. Okay, so these are the anti-parasite. These basophil, they are responsible for the inflammation. They are responsible for the inflammation. Okay, and this basophil, how they are responsible for inflammation? Because they secrete the three things. The one is histamine, another is basophil, histamine, serotonin, and another is heparin. Okay, and these three have different function. Histamine acts as a vasodilation. It is a vasodilator. It dilates the blood vessels. Next, come to the serotonin. Serotonin constricts the blood vessel during the time of blood pressure. When it is increases, then the serotonin increase in your body. Next is heparin. Heparin, it acts as an anticoagulant which prevents the blood from clotting. Okay. Next, neutrophil, they are more in number. So whenever we have any infection in our body, so these are the one which arrive first. Okay. So they first arrive at the site of infection. Okay. Next we have platelets. Platelets are also known as the thrombocytes. Platelets are also known as the thrombocyte, and always associate thrombo word with the blood clotting. Okay, always associated your thrombo word with the blood clotting. When somebody have a disease like dengue, so during the time of dengue disease, the amount of platelets it going to be fall, which can cause the internal bleeding in patient body. Platelets play a very important role in the coagulation. Okay, platelets, they are very important for the blood coagulation. We have a mechanism of a blood coagulation, then we will discuss it. Okay, and platelets have some growth factors which is responsible for the coagulation. Okay, and also platelets, where they formed in the red bone marrow. In the red bone marrow, a cell is present, and the name of this cell is megakaryocyte. The name of the cell is megakaryocyte, because here you can see the size of nucleus. It is so large, right? It is so huge. That's why it is known as the megakaryocyte. After the disintegration in megakaryocyte, it will becomes the fragments. It will becomes the fragments, and these fragments are the platelets. Okay, so platelets are nothing. Platelets are the fragments of cells. Platelets are what? Platelets are the fragments of cells. And what is the shape of platelets? They are biconvex in shape. Okay, so when somebody have injury, so after that you will see this scum on your body na, which stop the bleeding. How this scum is formed, entire blood clotting mechanism is going on, that we will discuss in our next video. Okay, so it is biconvex in shape, and when at the site of injury, this platelet, they are releasing the platelet derived growth factor, which is responsible for the process of coagulation. And what is the amount of platelets? It is 1.5 lakh to 3.5 lakh per mm cube of blood. Okay, and also their number is also decreases in some conditions. Okay, the example I am giving you, the dengue. Okay, next is the plasma. Plasma is 55% in blood. Okay, plasma is 55% in blood. The 91% in plasma, water is present, and the 9% solid things are present. 9% solid things are present, 91% is water. Why so much water is present? Water, it acts as a solvent, and water is the medium of many chemical reactions. So here water is act as a solvent, and it is the medium of many chemical reaction. In this 9%, plasma have organic substance and the inorganic substance. Plasma contains the inorganic substance and also contains the organic substance. In organic substance, they have cations and anions like sodium, sodium, potassium, bicarbonate ions, phosphate ion, ferric ion, and the ferrous ion. And in the organic substance, the plasma contains the plasma proteins and also other substances. These other substances can be neurotransmitters, can be your sugars, excretory waste like urea, uric acid. Okay, so many things, drugs and the water soluble vitamins, etc. Plasma proteins are the albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, and the prothrombin. This fibrinogen and prothrombin are very important because they are associated with the process of blood coagulation. Okay, and the amount of Ag is very important. The ratio of Ag is very important. What is the ratio of your Ag? Is your 1.7:1. Okay, The albumin, it is a protein in a plasma which is most evident. Okay, so you can see the ratio, albumin is more in number, and in many of these diseases the Ag ratio will up and down. Okay, so Ag ratio is very important, 1.7:1. And in our next lecture we will in detail going to discuss about the plasma proteins. Okay, and also we will going to discuss about the process of blood coagulation. Thank you.